Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So today's video we are doing some prep for harvest. Harvest at this stage is probably about 3 weeks out, maybe not even that, because it is ripening very fast and early this year with all the dry weather we had over the last 6 weeks or so. So yeah, it's ripening well. Harvest should be a wee bit earlier than usual, and we want to get the grain stores ready for putting the crops into. So winter barley, it's going to go in on this side here. I've cleared this out and I've a wee bit of winter barley in the other side. Last year we had more barley than wheat, and it meant that we put the winter barley in this side. So there's about 15 tonne left. We're going to move it on in the other side of this wall, and yeah, basically get ready for putting the wheat in here. So teleporter's ready to go. Let's get moving it. Alright, so we got that moved, and there's a nice pile of stuff there. I would say there's just, I told it maybe around 15, it's more than 15 tonne there. I'd say there's in around the 20 tonne mark, but we're ready to go now on washing it out. It's all nicely cleaned out. We leave the stuff up there just the very top. I scraped it up there with a shovel, and I'll lift that now in a second. You see, the brown is out, it is on the power washer, and yeah, more or less ready to go. So I left this bit of stuff, we get the power washer going, we'll get this cleaned out. Alright, so it's the next day. Nice drying, a lovely dry day. The washing is finished in here, and we've actually washed the whole section of the yard here as well where we filled the diet feeder, which is a good job because we tip grain there. Usually tip, maybe we could tip 50 ton, 60 ton there, and then about 60, 70 ton maybe could be tipped around the corner here, right down in that whole section, the far side of the David Brown. That still has to be all washed, so hence why the David Brown is still here. Hope to get that done now in the coming days, but at least this whole end of the yard here is done, and the shed is all done. It's more or less dried out. We bit of drying still to be done here, but yeah, you can see it's a good job. Walls are all power hosed down as well, and it's nice and clean and ready to go. So yeah, great to have that done. Right, what are we doing now? Going to do a bit of topping, so join me at that. We're away from the yard now, away from the washing and cleaning, and we're down doing some topping, a little bit of grassland topping. That it's actually it's where we have a batch of bulls grazing, and it's just part of, it's not too bad. Some of the grass is just stemmed out a little bit, headed out, seeded out in a few places, and they're not eating it down. So we're just basically going to go around, just top it down, and we will be slurrying this then over the coming days. Overall, it's not actually eating too bad, but yeah, just bring it all down to the one level, and it should grow. Once it's slurried, it should grow back then fairly even. I'm in the 3650. The topper is our mounted topper. It's an Abbey mounted topper. I did do a video on it there a while back. Well, we done a bit of a reform job on it. Well, we put a whole new top on it and just tidied it up a bit. Now, it hasn't been painted yet. It's supposed to have been way to get painted before this. We were using it, but it never happened for one reason or another. We have another wee job in the pipeline there getting painted, so it's going out, it'll get painted over the next, it'll be going for painting, let's say, in a couple of weeks, and then we'll get it done, because it is a handy wee topper. The only issue with it is it's only a 7 foot. We bought it new back in, I think it was like 2000 or in around the year 2000, and back when we bought it, the biggest tractor on the farm was the 2850, so yeah, it was plenty big enough then. Ideally now you'd like one maybe even 9-10 foot, that you were just taking a wee bit more with you every time you went round the field, but it is what it is. For the bit that we're using it, this topper will do, it'll do for now. Like we only use it a couple of days in the year, and yeah, you know, it'll do fine. But yeah, get this done and dusted, and we get moved on to the next job. Alright, we're finished topping for this evening, which is great. I've a little bit more to do, and I might finish that in the morning, but for this evening we're finished it anyway, which is grand. I'm going to show you a little present that arrived for the 3650. I've been on the lookout for one of these since I got the 3650, and they're not that simple to get. People have them and they don't want to part with them when they do have them, in a lot of cases. But a friend of mine in Germany, Eric, who I've become quite friendly with through YouTube and Instagram and all those things, the power of YouTube and social media once again. Eric had one of them, decided to sell it to me. We'd done a deal back about 2 months ago, a little more than 2 months ago now, and it was sent over. Now, unfortunately, not my fault, not Eric's fault, it got lost in the post. So it was sent over, got lost in the post for about 6 or 7 weeks, and eventually it landed back to Eric's door. Supposedly it made it to Ireland. It wasn't delivered. The address was on it perfectly because I could see part of the address still on it when it come, the original address. And yeah, we ended up having to resend it again. The second time we sent it with DHL, it was here in 4 days. So that's the difference of some of these companies. But anyway, it arrived, which is the main thing. Let's have a look at it. See, can you figure out what it is as we're taking it out? There is a little bit of refurb work to be done to it, not very much. It is very, very good. This is the first part of it. This is the first part of it. So there is a form of like the Canamoflex lagging that's on it, so it has to come off it, and we'll send it away. We'll get it cleaned down and we'll get this part of it painted. So we'll leave it there. That's one part to it. We'll take out, I think we'll take out the main part of it now. I might have to release my hands here, use my 2 hands to get it out. I think some of you who know what it is will already have figured it out. Hold on, I take it out. So here it is. It is actually a passenger seat for a 3650. So quite rare to get. Didn't see many of them here in Ireland, England. You've seen some of them, but I'd say for maybe one went into every 50 tractors. So it's a little bit of work, as I say, to be done to it, just to tidy it up. I'll do something with the top of it. That is the original. It's like a plastic, it's like a hard plastic square that sat on the top of it, but I may change that, maybe put a bit of the upholstery on top of it or something like that, just to leave it matching the interior of the tractor, which it does match anyway. This is the colour of it, and we'll do a bit of a job. It hasn't been cleaned or anything like that. We'll do a whole job on it, a bit of dirt here and there. We'll clean it all down, we'll give it a good polish, and get her looking good as new, and get her into the tractor. There is another part. Well, let's see if I can get it out of it. So this is the other part that was in the box itself, and this is actually a footrest, which I'll actually show you where it goes now in the tractor in a second, and you get a good idea then of where it actually sits and what way it all works. Alright, so I just sat it in generally just so you can kind of see where it sits. This piece here then sits in there like that, so that's the footrest. And we then have this part here, which bolts on kind of like so, goes around there like that, and it stops then anyone falling out the back window. So quite simple, and a nice little extra. Now that does squash in a bit further, but the upholstery is keeping it pushed out just at the minute. So yeah, but when we fit it, it does squeeze in a little bit tighter there to the side. So yeah, nice addition, and something that I have been on the lookout for ages and ages. So I think the first thing I'll do is I'm going to send these pieces away. We'll get them all sandblasted down, get them primered and painted, both this bit and the safety bow that goes at the back. We'll get that done and dusted first, and then we can work on the box itself. We'll get a job done on it and get it all tidied up. So just in the tractor now, you can just see how tight it is. Quite tight to the seat, but it does kind of lift up a little bit and then pushes and bolts in. You know, it's not tight there at the minute. So when it is pushed and bolted in, it will create a gap there, you can see, and there's enough space then for the seat to go up and down past it. So yeah, it's quite simple in the way it works. It's not like I'm going to have passengers in the tractor very much. You know, unless my George or my little nephew Alex or something like that is coming in it, you're not going to use it that awfully much. But one of the things that's going to be very, very useful for, apart from the cosmetic look of it and having it there, which is nice, the practical side of it is that you're going to be able to take the lid off, and it's a decent size storage box that you can put stuff into, you know, whether it's your lunch, drinks, if you're going to wait to do a long day, or my camera gear or something like that. You can pop it into it. It's safe, it's not going to be rolling around the cab, and yeah, it's just something that it's going to be very handy. These 50 series kind of lacked storage space, you know, there was that place there alongside the seat on each side, but stuff had a tendency to roll in kind of along the seat, and if you're on bumpy ground and you're going up and down on the seat, it could squash whatever you had there or break it. So yeah, something like that is going to just be very, very handy for storage. So yeah, that's going to be, we're going to be doing that now over the next working on that now over the next number of weeks. The other thing that I'd really like is, if anyone has one and knows where I could get one, passenger mirror. No, not a passenger mirror, a rear view mirror. Passenger mirror, a rear view mirror. This tractor never had one, and funnily enough, the 2850 never had one either. Just wasn't on the order list, obviously. But I'd like to have one in it. I think it'd just be a nice little addition to have it there, that you can see what's going on behind you, without having to turn around all the time or look in the mirrors. It'd just be handy to have it. Speaking of the mirrors, I'm going to get them done now. This is the original one off the tractor itself. It's in very good condition, but we'll take it off and we'll send it away and just get it redone. We'll get it maybe repowder coated on the black bit, and the outer bit get it iodized and get a nice new clean finish on it. Plus the other one that I've got, as I mentioned earlier on, from the Whiteheads in Scotland, I'm going to get it done and we'll replace this one here. This is a new type mirror. So yeah, that's kind of the plan with that. We'll put the two original mirrors back on it. What other things have we to get done with the tractor, just to kind of finish it off? This here, the digital dash, digital clock, 75% of it works. What I mean by that is, you can see what hours is on the tractor, you can see the engine revs, you can see the speed you're doing, but you can't see the PTO speed. The button for the PTO speed doesn't seem to be working. Now, I don't know why. I don't know whether it's I think it's the actual unit itself. Maybe the button has just stopped working on it. So when you press that button, nothing happens. The other ones all work fine, including this. This is like a little return to home button. Or if you press, the way it works is, if you have, we'll turn it on, I'll show you. So that's speed at the minute, it stays on it all the time. Then you have engine revs, which is at 0 at the minute, but it then, after a certain amount of time there, it's only like about 5 seconds, it returns back to your road speed. To get it to stay at the engine revs, you press those two together, and then it stays at the engine revs all the time. To get it to go back, you just press some of the other buttons to go back to the road speed. To check your hours, you press them two together and it shows your hours for like the 5 seconds. So you can see 7,482 hours. We have over 300 hours in it since we got it. So yeah, but nothing happens when you press the PTO button, whether PTO is engaged or not engaged. So if anyone knows about them or knows anything about them, be interested to see about that. What are the wee things we need to get done with it? We've got this here little plastic is discoloured. You can see it all along here. I'd like to replace that. You can get them still up John Deere, and I'd like to get that and replace that. I think they're like about 80 quid or something like that for it. It's only small, it's only cosmetic, but it's the kind of thing that could just disappear and you may never not be able to get it. And that was perfect in it when we got the tractor first. I was using a cleaning fluid and the cleaning fluid damaged it. So yeah. The other thing is too, you might notice the cover is off. This light should light up when you have the diff lock pressed, but it's not lighting up. So we have to figure that out, see what's wrong. I have the little cover off it, it's there, I just haven't put it back on it. So that's a couple of the things that has to be done just to finish off. Also the upholstery that which is very, very good. The only downside to it is it comes with these two holes in it, which is for the American market. And I might I'll see. I'll either get two of the there's little rubbers like this here. I'll either get two of them and put them into it just to cover it, or there is a sticker you can get which wasn't really on the tractors here, but it was on the tractors in America, and you could put it on it, which would cover the holes. But I'll see. I might see if I can get a couple of these wee grommets. That's not the end of the world, it's really a small thing, but that's really all that I have to do to it. It's only a few small, minor things, but at the same time, they're on the list, and I just want to get them done and get the tractor finished with. I'm not going to do any more painting around it. You know, the weight blocks, everything, the engine, the whole chassis, the arms at the back is all original. All that's been painted on it, if you remember: the roof, the two mud guards, the bonnet, that step, that battery box, and the little, there's the green grille that goes down between the lights right down to the front. And what else did I paint on it? Not the exhaust pipe, the other pipe, the pipe that goes up for the air intake. That's all that I painted on it. Something else I painted on it. Oh, there's a little green cover here just at the step as well. I painted it. So I want to leave it as original as I can. But yeah, that's kind of what I have to do to it just to finish things off. So that's the few bits that's left with the 3650. There's not that much left to be done to it, but we haven't done anything to it. 2022 we didn't really do anything to it, and then this year we didn't do anything to it much. We've done a bit of tricking with the air conditioning just to try and get it right. There was a small leak on it, but other than that we done very little else on it, and we'd probably done that much work to it in 2021 that we were sick looking at it. It was kind of one of them things. You know, we did a lot of work to it in a short enough space of time, and worked harder to get it where it is. And yeah, it's just one of them things where you get sick doing bits and pieces to it, and it kind of just sits then for the last 18 months almost, and it's now at the point where I'd like to get the last few bits finished, and that's what we're going to do. Just going to try and work on them now bit by bit. Starting with the passenger seat, we'll get the bits of steelwork sandblasted, primed and painted, and have them ready. We'll then work on the mirrors and get them sorted, and we'll get them fitted on as well. So those few bits we'll start to work on them and get them done and dusted. But yeah, it'll be a really nice job now when we get those few things finished off on it. Yeah, I suppose that's really it. A big thank you to Eric once again for sending the passenger seat over to me. I know there was a lot of hassle with it. Like, it went missing for 2 months. There was a lot of emails and to and fro to try and get it back, and then when we did get it back, you had to go and post it again, and it was a lot of hassle. So I appreciate everything on that side of it, because I know it's not simple dealing with those companies when you want to get something back if something goes missing for a while. So yeah, thanks very much for all your efforts on that, Eric. So yeah, that is it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed it. We will have another video up. We're going to try to have another video up on Wednesday as well this week. We had no Wednesday video, I think, last week. So we'd only one video up last week. We're going to try and go for the 2 videos this week. Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. Slurrying, more topping. There's all different little jobs going on. We're moving cattle as well this coming week. So I'll try and get a bit of footage of a few different things going on and have a bit of a mix of just what's happening on the farm at the minute. Yeah, so if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the sub button, ring the little bell beside it for notification. Every time I post a video, you'll just get a notification on your phone or on your device just to let you know that I have posted a video. Costs you absolutely nothing, so if you can do that, I'm very grateful. Leave a like in the video if you enjoyed it, comment down below if you have any questions, and yeah, that's it. Take care, have a good weekend, see you in the next one.